Lysenko, the National Security and Defense Council Information Center spokesman, with the update from the eastern Ukraine and the ATO zone. Proszę pan Andriy.
Good afternoon, dear colleagues. At the request of the government from three cities from Kiev, Kharkiv, Dnipropetrovsk, yesterday 71 truck went with 800 tons of humanitarian assistance to residents in Luhansk and Donetsk regions. The trucks with humanitarian aid from Kharkiv, Dnipropetrovsk, they have arrived to Staropilsk in Luhansk region. Trucks from Kiev will be there soon. Kharkiv trucks, there are 26 trucks and 18 from Kharkiv region, 2 from Poltava, 1 from Cherkasy, 5 from Ministry of Agrarian Policy and Foods of Ukraine. Dnipropetrovsk column includes 21 trucks, and humanitarian assistance has foods, vegetables, and peeled grains, sunflower oil, honey, tea, water, medicine, hygiene means, and other products and goods which are needed by residents in the east of Ukraine. The weight of humanitarian cargo which has arrived is 390 tons, and rescue groups and Red Cross, they assaulted by groups of products. And first of all, they will send goods that they are easy to deteriorate, like fruits and vegetables, and then with the other cargoes will go to Donbas cities, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, they made an announcement that about the Russian humanitarian assistance, and the statement says that according to Ukrainian law and international procedures, there is a certain procedure to provide such assistance. It is emphasized the responsibility for provocations from terrorists during that international mission of humanitarian aid for the needs of civilians in Luhansk region, which is initiated by the President of Ukraine, Poroshenko. Russia is responsible for that. As to during the last days, Ukrainian forces came to 3 cities: Chernihiv in Luhansk region, Bulavinsk, and Alexandrivka in Donetsk region. Forces of ATO, they continue advances in Luhansk, to Luhansk, and there are positional engagements near Donetsk, Luhansk, Gorlivka, Ilovaisk, Pervaisk, and Krasny Luch. During the last day, ATO forces had 25 engagements with terrorists near Blagodatne, Nikiforivka, Avdiivka, Sabivka, Nizhnya Vilhova, Ilovaisk, Olenivka, Starobesheva, Debaltseve, Fashchevka, Berezove, Tonenke, Kutenikova, Ilinka. Ukrainian armed forces are sheltered from Russian Federation yesterday and today, last night. From a great system, they were shelling upon Uspenka, Donetsk border crossing point. This is the 3rd attack against this upon this border crossing point, and the infrastructure was it is completely destroyed. Near Kherson region, Burgas saw a Russian drone, which is on the latitude of 4 kilometers, came from Crimea. 2 more cases of 2 more drones were found by Burgas in Azov and Black Sea. The first one was near Sidova, and it went to Mariupol, and the other one near Skodovsk. Last night, through border crossing point in Izvarin, which temporarily is not under control of Ukraine, Burgas from Donetsk in Rostov region, Russian Federation to Ukraine, came a column of Russian heavy military trucks equipment. That is a fact. which we know from international journalists on that border crossing point. Militants continue to destroy the infrastructure of Donbass and Donetsk near that railroad station. They was shelling the center of the city, and they were trying to convince that it was done by Ukrainian armed forces. They mined the dam near Sadova-Krasnominsk near Krasny Luch. According to operational information, terrorists are trying to build new gangs of inmates of prisons. But we have to say that the inmates refuse to leave their prisons. As to international situation, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine expressed decisive protest to Russia because of not agreed with Ukraine visit of President Putin and other Russian officials temporarily occupied territory of Ukraine, that is Autonomous Republic of Crimea and Sevastopol. Such step was done against warnings of Ukraine, and this is a factor that Russia neglects state sovereignty of Ukraine, statute of UN statute resolution, UN resolution on territorial integrity of Ukraine, resolutions of Parliamentary Assembly OSCE, and bilateral and multilateral agreements. Here's all information. Now your questions, please.
Today we saw the information that the humanitarian convoy from Russia will be inspected by the Ukrainian side in Donetsk, Russian Federation. Any details? Yes, it is really so. According to the agreement between Ukraine and Russia, the humanitarian convoy had to be accepted in Donetsk, Rostov region. The Ukrainian side sent our experts there, bodyguards and custom officers. They are ready to start their work on the acceptance of the convoy. However, our representatives have not got any documentation from the International Committee of Red Cross about this cargo. As soon as we receive this documentation, our bodyguards and custom officers will start their work, and the cargo will be delivered to Ukraine under the auspices of the International Red Cross. Could you tell us about the statistics of losses over the last day, and probably try to be more specific about Luhansk? We see that there's an encirclement around Luhansk. What are the further actions? And about the military vehicles that entered Ukraine's territory tonight, why it was not destroyed? Was it possible or not? Over the last day, 5 Ukrainian military personnel died. We still don't have precise information about wounded. As for Luhansk, yes, you see that there's positional fighting there, and the city is almost encircled. A lot of forces remained in Luhansk. The terrorists who have before this got a lot of heavy vehicles and artillery. There's a juxtaposition there. We cannot bomb the city, and we won't do this. That's why the operation is becoming protracted, because there is a land stage, step by step, strip by strip. We're saving the lives of our residents, and we're saving infrastructure. As for the vehicles that crossed into Ukraine's territory, there is a part of the border that we cannot still control, but we have an opportunity to receive information about where it is going. I assure you that everything that has entered won't leave. 2 or 3 days ago, the Ukrainian government declared that They are preparing the last stage of anti-terrorist operation in Donetsk. Has it already started, and can we forecast the time of completion of the anti-terrorist operation? How can you assess the number of terrorists? They have also told about the resignation of Bolotev and Striktol. How can this influence the time of the completion of anti-terrorist operation? Yes, the preparation work for the final stage of liberation of those cities has been completed. This is not going to happen within 1 or 2 days. We have concentrated and amassed our forces. We have plans to encircle the cities and to cut off delivery and reinforcement ways. The operation has started. We do not announce the beginning of the operation, but we will inform you about the way the operation is going and about the positive news that our public is waiting for. And the weakening of the forces of terrorists. Yes, we have a lot of information about the change of leadership of the so-called Luhansk and Donetsk People's Republics, but this points out to the fact that the first tasks that were set before the replaced people, they have not performed, they have not fulfilled, and we can expect that the new leaders will be replaced as well, but I think that they won't be able to do this. They will be either captured or killed. Could you be more precise with the information about Aidar battalion? There's been quite a lot of information about the dead and wounded. What has happened to them, where the guys are now at the moment? This is a very topical question because I had to tell you from the very start about this. Today, the information was disseminated about the alleged death of many people in Aidar battalion. I refute it officially. The guys are continuing to perform their combat tasks. They almost don't have losses because they are very experienced. The information on huge losses is the element of information war that our enemy is using, so they are alive and they are liberating the territory now. Where they are, I don't tell you because there's some classified information. Humanitarian convoy. Where is it now and how much time this inspection can take while our representatives check the information from Red Cross? When the convoy will find itself on Ukraine's territory? The Ukrainian side has made everything possible. We have sent to the city of Donetsk, Rostov region, where, according to the agreement between Ukraine and Russia, the humanitarian convoy should be documented, but we still cannot start this procedure because we still don't have documents from the International Committee of Red Cross. As soon as we get them, believe me, no one is going to protract. The help is needed, we accept it, and our experts within the shortest possible period will do everything possible. I have just come from the meeting of the Red Cross. They say that 262 trucks came to Donetsk, while at the start there were 280. Do you have information where 18 trucks have gone? Yesterday there was also information that the terrorist forces and machinery are starting to retreat to the border.
That's true. I'm not ready to tell you about those missing in that convoy. This is up to Russian Federation. They should decide on their own. If they want to do it, they should finish it. They should control it. As to withdrawal of terrorists and preparing new positions, it's true. They withdraw, and they're trying to build the basis on those where they can control it, and they wanted to get closer to Russian Federation for them to flee at the last moment. This is the way to explain that their movements. You told about Aidar battalion that they have almost no losses, no casualties. Are there some casualties? We don't have information about Aidar battalion, but I tell you that it's not true that many of them died. It's all lie.
I just wanted to ask when the agreement was reached between Russia and Ukraine that Ukrainian border officials could travel to the Russian side to inspect the cargo, and how do you expect that the travel of this fleet of vehicles is going to impact combat operations around Luhansk, because clearly there's active fighting there right now, but there are going to be a lot of Russian drivers and Russian trucks fanning out across the area. So will there be a ceasefire there?
Дякую за питання.
After the cargo will be documented by the Customs Service and the border guards of Ukraine, that responsibility for crossing the border and for transportation to the final destination, Red Cross, International Red Cross will be responsible for that. They commit to deliver those goods, but how they do that, I am not ready to tell you. So it's better to ask Red Cross about how they plan to do that.
How many Red Cross personnel are there working?
У мене немає такої.
I don't have that information. Comment, please, about that night shell in Donetsk, and Mezov is informed that they used some kind of fire shells. You mean they used as? I'm not ready to tell you. I'm not ready to comment. We have some. We have facts that near train station, militants was shelling downtown. Those who live in the district, they saw some flashes in the sky, and probably some kind of shelling with special flashes were used. As to bombs, we don't do it in Donetsk, and aviation, our aircrafts, they fight against, they strike terrorists outside of the city. Their groups, their vehicles, and so. And they use those shells which are not which are allowed by international conventions in such cases. Alexander Shevchenko, Institute of Journalism. What can you say about Promask, which was under the control of our armed forces, and then terrorists came back? They were able to capture Ukr Telecom. Could you explain? In Promask, now there's an engagement there. Militants, and we will liberate that city very soon, because there are not many of them there left.
I was wondering where that convoy of Russian military vehicles that was observed going over the Izvarino crossing, in what direction did it go? Did you track it? Did it go to Luhansk? Did it go toward Donetsk?
Зрозуміло, це мова йде про
You speak about that military vehicles, like Russian It's a fact that our border was there was a military equipment from Russian Federation went through Ukrainian border, and Russia sent them to support separatists and gunmen in Lugansk and Donetsk region. So that's a separate column. They came not together with humanitarian assistance, humanitarian aid.
If they went to a city.
Дякую за запитання.
Now there is only one place for them to go, Lugansk. Still, they could try to break through, and they could try to help terrorists who are still there, and who are waiting for that assistance, for that ammunition. It's their mistake. If there is no more questions, then the next presentation of Colonel Lysenko will be at 5 o'clock. Thank you.